wiping it down with the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel.
Appreciate you, Coach. One of the great venues to watch a game in any sport and one of the best home crowds in any sport. Soldier Field in Chicago. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's got some space here. He's at the 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Detroit. That's going to be a 103-yard kickoff return. What a run as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. So how about that? You want to talk about coming into a hostile environment and just silencing the crowd. They just did it.
Couldn't be a better start. There's no way. All week long, they've talked about having this type of a start, but I think they looked at it from the offensive team's perspective. You know, get the opening kickoff. You guys control the ball. A lot of people are now going to say, okay, now your offense, will they be out of whack? No, not at all. They're going to be absolutely happy. They're relaxed. They took care of business for them. They don't have any pressure now. They can just go play.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
First and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now a handoff looking right. And down he goes just beyond the 35. And that pretty move got him some extra space to run.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback. And no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Looking to throw. Pearson. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 14 yards in a Chicago first down. On first down, Pearson. Hunter Henry brings it in. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The end result, 21 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Let's go.
Check. General West. Check. Hot.
On first down, Ziegler. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line as this game gets started, as it starts to...
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A great play there. His 21st touchdown of the season as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now they try the right side here. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Noel firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys. Kill.
And he'll give it here to his running back. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Now a give, right side. House, and this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Now a handoff looking right. And he gets it down to the 32. 2 yards, good enough for a first. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
These two teams all tied after one.
With the score tied 7-7.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, Pearson. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Taking it about the 16. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. On 4th down, Matt Hawk is on to punt. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken around the 12. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
To throw on second down. Pearson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Looking to throw. Pearson, he's going to air one out and unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And where will this be spotted? The side judge says it went out just across midfield. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on second and inches.
Right there.
Second down and inches. And he will find his man on the outside. 70th catch for him on the year. And like so many others, this goes for a first down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves down.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. The 40. He's at the 30. 10. 5. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. Big boy earning his lunch. That's what you call rumbling with the ball, Charles.
Big man with football. He wasn't just earning lunch, Brandon. He was earning dinner. He was
midnight snack.
Everything that you could possibly do, he did it on that play to pick up the ball and go.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Meanwhile, checking in on what's going on in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens that have moved out to an early advantage. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. They try to run on first down, but this defense says no dice. They stop them a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. Operating from the gun, Noel. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. Right there, 54, right there, 54 miles.
To throw on 3rd down. Noel, he's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Here's Matt Hawk now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. This will be fielded at the 17. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. On the NFL scoreboard, second quarter in Nashville. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now a handoff here to his running back. It's a big-time play there for the Bears. Give him 42 yards on the ground. Boy, Curley stands second in the league in rushing, and runs like that are a big reason why. Heck, runs like that might get him to first.
And when you've got goals in front of you, if you're second and you want to be first, that type of running gives you something to shoot for and hopefully attain.
Throwing on first down. Pearson. The hitter here, it's complete. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it first and goal. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there. Touchdown number 22 on the season as the Bears push further out in front. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 21-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, Noel. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
On 1st and 10, Noel. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Noel. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. That's going to be caught. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there for Detroit. And even 40 yards. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They'll come out in the pistol. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. 2nd and 5. And it'll be intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And he's into the clear. 30. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well.